Friday night dinner at my parents' house had devolved into what it always became. A celebration of my older brother Nathan's achievements and a subtle intervention about my life choices. I sat across from Nathan, who looked every inch the successful attorney in his tailored suit, while I wore jeans and a hoodie that had seen better days. "Nathan, tell everyone about the Morrison case," my mother urged, passing the roasted chicken. "Your father and I are so proud." Nathan smiled modestly. "It's not that big a deal. I'm just second chair on a corporate litigation matter. But yes, the senior partners are pleased with my work." "Second chair at 29, my father beamed. "At Morrison Fletcher, one of the top law firms in the city. That's exceptional, son. You're on partnership track." "Hopefully," Nathan said. "If I keep billing my hours and bringing in clients." My Aunt Carol, who joined us for dinner, sighed contentedly. "A lawyer. A real profession. Stability, respect, a career path. That's what matters in life. Unlike some people," my mother said, her eyes drifting to me, "who waste their potential on risky ventures." I kept eating, used to this narrative. "Emma, honey," my father started, and I knew what was coming. "We need to talk about your app thing. It's been 4 years now. When are you going to accept that it's time to pivot to something more stable?" "My app thing is doing fine, Dad." "Fine isn't good enough," he countered. "Nathan is thriving. You're just existing. There's a difference." Nathan, to his credit, looked uncomfortable. "Dad, Emma's app is actually pretty popular. Some of my colleagues use it." "Some colleagues using a free app doesn't pay the bills," my mother said sharply. "Emma's 27 years old, living in a studio apartment, driving a car from college. Meanwhile, you have a condo downtown, a BMW, and a 401k. That's success." "Mom, I'm happy with." "Happiness doesn't retire you comfortably," Aunt Carol interrupted. "Your brother has security. Law firms don't disappear overnight. Tech startups, they fold constantly. Your parents are worried, Emma. We all are." I set down my fork. "Flowtask isn't going to fold. We have solid." "Flowtask," my father repeated like the name itself was evidence of frivolity. "A productivity app. Emma, the market is saturated with productivity apps. What makes yours special? We have 18 million users and..." "Free users," my mother cut in. "I downloaded it myself to be supportive. It's free." "How do you make money from free?" "We have a premium tier. And enterprise contracts. We're actually struggling to monetize," my father finished. "Emma, I've done research. 90% of apps never make money. You're pouring your youth into a venture that's statistically doomed to fail." Nathan shifted uncomfortably. "Dad, maybe we should." "No, your brother needs to hear this," my father said firmly. "Nathan, you're going to be a partner at Morrison Fletcher someday. Emma needs to understand what real career progression looks like. In fact," he turned to me with a look of inspiration. "Emma, Morrison Fletcher is hiring legal assistants. Good salary, benefits, career growth potential. Nathan could get you an interview." The table went silent, everyone looking at me expectantly. "You want me to be Nathan's assistant?" I asked quietly. "Not his assistant," my mother said quickly. "An assistant at his firm. It's different. But yes, you'd work in the same building. Nathan could mentor you, help you understand professional environments." "It's perfect." "I don't want to be a legal assistant." "Why not?" Aunt Carol asked. "It's honest work with real security. Better than gambling on an app that might never generate real income." My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. "Emma," my father leaned forward, his voice gentle but patronizing. "I know you've invested time in this app. But at some point you have to cut your losses. You're talented. You could have a real career. Let Nathan help you." "I appreciate the offer, but..." My phone buzzed again, more insistently this time. Then again. And again. "Emma, please," my mother sighed. "Put the phone away. This is important." I pulled it out to silence it and saw the caller ID. Richard Chin, CEO, TechCore Industries. My heart stopped. "I need to take this," I said, standing abruptly. "Absolutely not," my father said firmly. "We're having a family discussion about your future. Whatever app emergency you think you have can wait." "Dad, this is..." "No." His voice hardened. "This is exactly the problem. You're so addicted to that phone and that app that you can't even engage in serious conversation about your life. Sit down and let it go to voicemail. The phone kept ringing. Richardson, CEO of TechCore, one of the largest technology conglomerates in the world. Calling me. Right now. I really need to. Emma Martinez, sit down, my mother commanded. Whoever's calling can wait 5 minutes. I looked at the phone, at my parents' expectant faces, at Nathan's sympathetic expression. The phone rang one more time, then went silent. I sat down, my stomach churning with anxiety. Thank you, my father said. Now, as I was saying, Morrison and Fletcher is a real opportunity. Stable income, professional environment, career path. Nathan started as a first-year associate making $90,000. Within 5 years he could be making $300,000 as a junior partner. That's a real career trajectory, Emma. Not this app gambling. My app isn't gambling. We've been approached by... My phone lit up again. Richardson. Calling back. For God's sake, Aunt Carol muttered. Who calls this persistently? Probably some spam about her app, my mother said dismissively. Emma, please silence that thing. It's not spam. It's Richardson, CEO of TechCore Industries. The table went quiet. TechCore. Nathan's eyes widened. The TechCore? Worth like $50 billion. That TechCore, I confirmed, watching the phone ring. And he's calling me. So I really need to take this. My father laughed, but it sounded forced. Emma, why would the CEO of TechCore be calling you? Be serious. I'm serious. We've been in acquisition talks for 3 months. This is probably about... Acquisition talks, my mother repeated slowly. Emma, honey, this is concerning. Are you having delusions? Do you really believe the CEO of a Fortune 500 company is calling you about your little productivity app? The phone stopped ringing. 2 missed calls from Richardson. It's not a little productivity app, Mom. Flowtask has 18 million users, generates $42 million in annual revenue, and TechCore has been negotiating to acquire us for their enterprise productivity suite. This call is probably Richard confirming the final terms. My father's face had gone red. Emma, stop. Just stop. This fantasy you've created, it's gone too far. You need professional help if you genuinely believe. My phone rang a 3rd time. Richardson. I answered it before anyone could stop me. Richard, I apologize for missing your calls. I'm at a family dinner and... Emma. Richard's voice was warm and excited. No apology necessary. I know it's Friday evening, but I couldn't wait to share the news. The board just voted unanimously. We're moving forward with the acquisition. TechCore is acquiring Flowtask for $1.2 billion. The room spun. $1.2 billion? Billion, Richard confirmed. All cash. Your 73% stake comes out to $876 million. Congratulations, Emma. You're about to become one of the youngest self-made women in tech. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Emma? You there? I'm here. Richard, this is incredible. Thank you. Thank you so much. You built something remarkable. We're thrilled to bring Flowtask into the TechCore family. Legal teams will start the paperwork Monday. We're announcing Tuesday morning. Press conference at 10 a.m. Can you be there? Yes. Absolutely. I'll be there. Excellent. Enjoy your weekend, Emma. You've earned it. And congratulations again. $876 million. Not bad for a little app, right? He hung up. I stood there, phone pressed to my ear, staring at nothing. Emma. Nathan's voice seemed to come from far away. What did he say? I lowered the phone slowly, looking at my family's faces. Curious, confused, still skeptical. TechCore is acquiring Flowtask, I said quietly. For $1.2 billion. The deal closes next week. Silence. Complete, absolute silence. 1.2. My father couldn't finish the sentence. Billion, I confirmed. My stake is 73%, which comes to $876 million. Before taxes. My mother's wine glass slipped from her hand, red wine spreading across the white tablecloth. She didn't notice. That's not possible, Aunt Carol whispered. Emma, if this is some kind of joke. It's not a joke. Richardson just called to confirm the board's approval. We're announcing Tuesday. Nathan pulled out his phone, typing frantically. His face went from skeptical to shocked. Oh my God. It's already leaking. Tech Insider just posted. Sources confirm TechCore acquiring productivity app Flowtask for over $1 billion. Emma, this is real. Very real. My father stood abruptly, his chair scraping loudly. Let me see that phone. He grabbed Nathan's phone, reading the article. His hands started shaking. Flowtask, founded by 27-year-old Emma Martinez, has disrupted the productivity software market with its AI-powered task management system. The app boasts 18 million users and $42 million in annual revenue. The acquisition makes Martinez one of the youngest self-made female entrepreneurs in the technology sector. He looked up at me, his face drained of color. Emma, what have you been building? I tried to tell you. Multiple times. You weren't interested. But, $876 million. My mother's voice was barely audible. Our daughter is worth $876 million. Will be once the deal closes. Right now I'm just the CEO of a company being acquired for $1.2 billion. Aunt Carol had gone completely pale. You said you had 18 million users. We thought that meant 18 million people downloaded a free app. They did download it free. But 3 million upgraded to premium at $8 per month. And we have enterprise contracts with 847 companies, including Fortune 500 firms, at $50,000 to $200,000 per year. That's where the $42 million in revenue comes from. Nathan was still scrolling through his phone. Emma, there are dozens of articles about you. Forbes profiled you 8 months ago. TechCrunch called you the quiet genius of productivity software. Incorporated magazine listed you as one of their 30 under 30. How did we not know any of this? Because you never asked, I said simply. You decided Flowtask was a little app that would fail, and nothing I said could change that narrative. But why didn't you tell us? My mother asked desperately. If you were building something this valuable, why didn't you say something? I tried to tell you. Last Thanksgiving I mentioned Flowtask hit 10 million users. You asked when I'd give up the hobby and get a real job. At Christmas I said we'd signed Microsoft as an enterprise client. You changed the subject to Nathan's bonus. In March I mentioned we were in acquisition talks with major tech companies. Dad told me to stop living in fantasy land. My father sank back into his chair. You're serious? You've been trying to tell us and we dismissed you every time. Yes. Because we thought. He trailed off, unable to finish. Because you thought Nathan's career was more legitimate than mine. Because you understood law firms and didn't understand tech startups. Because it was easier to assume I was failing than to admit you didn't comprehend my industry. Nathan found his voice, though it was shaky. Emma, Dad offered you a job as a legal assistant at my firm. At my firm where I make $90,000 a year. You're about to make $876 million. I'm aware of the irony, Nathan. Oh God, my mother breathed. Everyone's going to know. Your father's golf friends, my book club, Aunt Carol's bridge partners. Everyone's going to know that we thought you were failing while you were building a billion-dollar company. That's not my problem to manage, Mom. My phone buzzed again. Multiple messages from my team, my investors, tech journalists requesting interviews. The news was spreading fast. Aunt Carol stood on shaky legs. I need to go. I need to process this. She left without another word. The rest of us sat in silence, the ruined dinner growing cold on the table. Finally, my father spoke. What do we do now, Emma? How do we fix this? Fix what? Our relationship. The fact that we didn't believe in you. That we pushed you toward being Nathan's assistant when you were building an empire. I considered the question. You start by understanding that not all valuable work looks traditional. You start by respecting that I knew what I was doing even when you didn't understand it. You start by acknowledging that your definition of success was too narrow to see mine. Can you forgive us? My mother asked, tears streaming down her face. Eventually, probably. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. You spent 4 years telling me to give up on Flowtask. You compared my career unfavorably to Nathan's at every opportunity. You offered me an assistant position like I was a charity case. That hurt, Mom. It still hurts. I'm sorry, Nathan said quietly. Emma, I'm so sorry. I let them minimize your work. I should have defended you. Yes, you should have. What happens now? My father asked. With TechCore, with your company? Tuesday we announced the acquisition. I'll join TechCore's executive team as VP of Productivity Solutions, overseeing flow tasks integration into their enterprise suite. My team gets retention bonuses. Our investors get massive returns. And I become a spokesperson for the acquisition. Will you still work? My mother asked. With $876 million, you could retire. Why would I retire? I love what I do. The acquisition means I can build Flowtask into something even bigger with TechCore's resources behind me. This isn't an ending, Mom. It's a beginning. My phone buzzed with a text from Richard Chin. Just saw the leaks. Hope your dinner went well. See you Tuesday for the big announcement. You're going to change the world, Emma. I smiled despite everything. What's that smile for? Nathan asked gently. Richard Chin just texted me. He said I'm going to change the world. My father's voice was hollow. You already have, Emma. And we almost missed it entirely. I stood gathering my things. I need to get home. My team is probably freaking out about the leaks, and I have about 100 messages to return. Please don't go, my mother begged. Stay. Let's talk about this. Let's celebrate. Celebrate what? My success. You weren't interested in celebrating when you thought I was struggling. You only want to celebrate now that the validation is public and undeniable. That's not fair, she protested. Isn't it? An hour ago you were pushing me toward a legal assistant job. Now you want to celebrate. The only thing that changed is external validation, not your actual belief in my work. I walked toward the door but Nathan caught my arm. Emma, wait. I know we screwed up. Massively. But we're family. That has to mean something. It does mean something. It means you're the people who were supposed to believe in me when nobody else did. And you didn't. You were the loudest voices telling me to give up. How do we earn back your trust? He asked. I looked at him. My successful lawyer brother who'd always been the golden child, who'd always done things the right way. You start by understanding that success isn't one size fits all. Your path worked for you. My path worked for me. Both are valid. Both deserve respect. I understand that now. Do you? Or do you understand it now because Forbes and TechCore validated me? Would you have respected Flowtask if we'd sold for $5 million instead of $1.2 billion? He couldn't answer. That's what I thought. I pulled my arm free gently. I need to go. We'll talk next week after the announcement, after everything settles. But right now, I need space from people who didn't believe in me. I left them at the table with their cold dinner and shattered certainty. As I drove home, my phone continued buzzing with messages. Congratulations from investors, interview requests from major publications, celebration texts from my team. My family's silence was deafening. By Tuesday morning, when I stood on stage beside Richard Chin announcing the acquisition to a room full of journalists and industry leaders, my parents would be watching from home. They'd see me on CNBC, Bloomberg, TechCrunch. They'd watch me shake hands with one of the most powerful CEOs in technology. They'd see the world celebrate what they'd dismissed. And maybe then they'd understand what they'd almost destroyed with their narrow definition of success. But that would be their journey, not mine. I had a world to change. With or without their belief. The CEO of TechCore believed in me. My team believed in me. 18 million users believed in me. That was enough. It had to be.